Tepeyac Leadership Initiative Alumni Series, where today we are speaking with TLI alumni from Phoenix, Arizona, Gerardo Pena. Gerardo is a professional bilingual social worker with more than 10 years of experience in direct care and management in prevention and behavioral health programs. Gerardo has his Master of Business Administration from Benedictine University and a Bachelor of Science from Arizona University in Justice Studies. He previously served as the Southwest Network System of Care Administrator and provided the Clinical Operations Site Administration for the High Need Case Management Clinic. As the current director of the Chicanos por la Causa de Colores Domestic Violence Program, he's provided leadership and supervision of the program's operations for more than 4 years. Gerardo is also a past member of the board of directors of the Arizona Coalition Against Sexual and Domestic Violence, and is a member of the MAG Council of Domestic Violence from the Association of Maricopa Governments. Gerardo is married, has 4 children and a grandson. He and his wife, Maria, are licensed adoptive parents and have adopted 3 of their 4 children. They have fostered a total of 9 children over the last 6 years. His family is active at Mater Misericordia Catholic Church, and they also run a small Catholic art business. Wow. There is so much I want to dive into with you, but first I want to hear, we want to start off with a heavier topic, which is the sexual and domestic violence. You basically dedicated your whole life to this cause. What sparked that passion, and why specifically domestic violence?
Well, I started my career, first of all, welcome, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being here and telling my story. Yeah, domestic violence is actually something that fell into my lap about 5 years ago. I've always been passionate about serving others. I've been passionate about wanting to help others. So I've been in the social service field for many years. And interesting enough, because of my management ability, I was able to find this opportunity with Chicanos por la Causa to run a domestic violence shelter. And I didn't know a lot when I first started about this population, but this truly is my passion now. It is a population that I feel that really needs a lot of attention. It needs opportunities, it needs funding. In order to really provide the needs that this population specifically needs. There's a lot going on with domestic violence, sexual assault. We also serve victims of human trafficking and homelessness. So these are people that are truly the most needy in our community, and I have a heart for serving them, and I truly want to make sure that I'm doing it to the best of my ability.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for doing this for our community and for helping others in this way. Can you explain to us a little bit of what Chicanos por la Causa does in general, but also what specifically is your role as being the director for the De Colores Domestic Violence Program?
Sure, yeah. So Chicanos por la Causa started in 1969, over 50 years ago. Really started with student protests against discrimination against Latino students in the South Phoenix area. They started protests and walked out of school. Por la Causa is the small group as a probably grew into this organization and really had heart for really serving the needs of the underprivileged, underserved in South Phoenix specifically. From that time, over the 50 years, it's really grown into, it's actually the largest Latino nonprofit organization. I believe second largest in the country, the largest in Arizona. It's one of the largest nonprofits in Arizona. We currently have close to 1,400 employees, and we span 4 different states. We're in Arizona primarily. We have a presence in Nevada, New Mexico, Texas. We just began discussions in California, and we have some services in Mexico as well. So it really is a really diverse and large organization. And primarily we meet the social and economic needs of all people, not just Latinos, and underprivileged. A lot of different pillars. We have We have human and social services, education. We have a big portion of our work also involved real estate development. So it's kind of really diverse and large. My program, De Colores, falls under our Health and Human Services Division. And as a director, I really am responsible for the day-to-day oversight of this program. We have two different areas. We have a community-based program and we have a shelter. And our shelter really serves those immediate needs of providing care and providing the day-to-day safety of people that are fleeing domestic violence, that are needing the place to go. We also have some transitional housing, and we have a small family homeless shelter on our campus as well. Our community-based program has a larger reach, serves about 200 to 300 individuals. And that program really is helping families that are looking and really help them with access and services in the community and being able to find the help that they need. And my role as the director is really to oversee the program. I'm responsible for the overall budget. I'm responsible for the success and the growth of the program. So in the 4 years that I've been part of this, I've grown my budget about 250%, which means that I've found new grant opportunities, expanded the reach of our program, and really began to serve other people. So we started out as just a domestic violence shelter, and now we provide housing. We have community and mobile services. We're serving victims of sexual assault and victims of human trafficking and homeless families. So diversified our program, really grew it, spent a lot of time in the development side, the business side of our program, um, while really developing my staff to do the day-to-day and oversee the operations of each of the programs. So I spent a lot of times kind of on a higher level, really looking at the needs of the community and as well as developing and growing the program. That was a lot.
Oh no, that was perfect. Thank you. A lot of things that I didn't know. So a follow-up question to that is, how important is it to support programs like yours in the fight against domestic violence?
Extremely important. I mean, for us, a big part of the work we do is awareness and getting the word out. We spend a lot of time in October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and in April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And getting the word out is really important. We we want the community to know, we want our staff to know, and really just the world to know that this is an epidemic that's happening in the community, and there's a lot of people suffering from this. Getting education. We've developed a prevention program over the last couple years, and it's a promotora model. So we are training and educating our existing clients that kind of shown some leadership. And similar to TLI, we train them, we help them in developing those leadership and speaking abilities, and provide them support. And in turn, we ask that they go out into their own communities and start developing those relationships with schools, community centers, even within their own family and friends, and start talking about domestic violence as a survivor themselves. So these women go out there and they're setting up their own groups and talking to people. So we're really at the grassroots level trying to end domestic violence.
So for people who are barely hearing about this domestic violence pandemic that you were just describing, how can we get more involved?
A great way is to help support these programs, and really look at if there's ways. There's a lot of opportunities for volunteer, a lot of opportunities for donating, but I really think more importantly is saying something. Um, I think one of the biggest problems with domestic violence is that people don't want to speak out and don't want to get involved in the business of others. When in reality, if someone is being abused, someone is being taken advantage of, or being hurt, it's everybody's responsibility. And it's really important that as people are becoming more aware of domestic violence, that they speak up, and they speak up and speak out for those that are being suffered, those are being abused and taken advantage of. There's so many injustices, and it's natural for people to want to stay out of others' business. But the reality is that we should be defending those that are being the most vulnerable in our society. So I think if we speak out and we say something, report something, and I think that would be the best way to help stop and end domestic violence.
Wow. So having a career like this seems very emotionally draining, but also rewarding at the same time. How are you able to, I guess, keep sane in a sense by being surrounded by an environment that, can be so heartbreaking at times?
Well, I'll tell you something. As the director of the program, I really look at the bigger impact of the work I do, and I'm really working at more of an administrative level, and helping bring more awareness, help bring more funding and more opportunities. But one thing I tell my staff that are working day to day out there is first of all, I honor them as much as I can, and thank them for the work they do, but also um, are very flexible with self-care. It is a job that requires that people take care of themselves, and that they're able to truly take a break, unwind, get away from the day-to-day things that they're seeing. So, we spend a lot of time letting people be flexible with their schedules. We allow them to have some fun at work. We really try to release the tension. We have lots of little simple things. We have recognition parties. We have things where people get away from the day-to-day grind and passionate about the work. So it's more of letting them know that they're honored.
Sounds very encouraging, to see that you're actually a really good leader by thinking about them in that way and putting them first. How do you incorporate your faith into your work?
Um, I mean that my faith guides every part of who I am and what I do. So I think that my faith is serve and in my staff, and it's truly difficult. You talk about being a stressful job without being able to know that God is in the middle of it all and in the midst of everything that I'm doing. It would be difficult to do this on a day-to-day basis. And seeing his work in the successes that we have, a lot of people we serve, seeing that they are their abusive situations. So to me, I see that as God's work. Obviously, it's a secular organization, but I think it guides my everyday work that I do, and I really see that God put me in this role to be a servant and deal with people that are in most need.
And how did TLI play a role in that? How did it help you become a better leader in the day to day?
Knowing and getting to meet other leaders is huge, especially other leaders that share my faith and other leaders that are having the same struggles. Working in the secular environment isn't always the most positive place to be, especially if to express who you are in your faith. So learning from others how they do it, learning from others of how they're expressing themselves outwardly, really learning about social justice, learning about the needs of the community, my eyes to lots of different areas of need. So just knowing that there's other leaders like me, struggling with some of the same things that I'm struggling with. I met someone that did TLI a couple years before, and she works with me. So it's great to see her and have a conversation with her and say, hey, I was part of TLI, so was I. We made that initial bond and connection. We know that we both work for who we work for, and we have each other's back. So yeah, it's a great it was a great opportunity to learn.
What was your commitment for TLI?
Is that I made with TLI is to utilize the skills, the knowledge, and the leadership ability that I have to eventually put that to work in a nonprofit pro-life environment. I would love to eventually be an executive director or CEO of a pro-life movement of some sort. Um, Obviously, that's going to take a while. One of the commitments I made was to get more involved in the diocese. So I've committed to trying to get onto a diocesan board, maybe meet with the bishop and let him know about my abilities and offer my services to the diocese in that manner. But with the eventual goal of making those connections and becoming a leader in the Catholic community.
Wow. So why a pro-life organization? What made you want to go towards that kind of cause?
It's just an important cause for me, being pro-life, and it is what guides me as a Catholic. It allows me to truly understand the sanctity of life. Um, we, Me and my wife are foster parents, and we truly believe that every child that is brought into this world deserves that second chance. Every child deserves to be honored. Every child deserves to be pro life is part of my identity, and I think that I would love to share the leadership knowledge and the skills that I've learned that CPLC has allowed me to learn, because they're such a great organization in developing my leadership, that I would love to be able to use that in a way where I can help others, specifically for a cause such as pro life.
Wow. So, well, going back to how you and your wife decided to open your hearts and homes to foster care and then eventually adoption, how did you guys, what was the road like leading up to that?
Um, yeah, it's an interesting road. We've been married for 15 years, and we were not able to bring a child to this world. We have lost two children um, in in utero, and not able to come to terms. So one of the commitments we made is that we both love children. We both wanted to have children. We do have an older daughter um, that lives with us, but that's something that we as a couple wanted to bring to this world. And we both felt that being open to life not only means being open to conception, but just open to life in general. So that really was something that we prayed on and decided that we wanted to become foster parents. So we opened our doors in 2014. We got our license, and we haven't stopped ever since. It's a joy to bring children into our homes and to mold them and guide them. Many have left, and it's okay. It's heartbreaking. It's sad. We love these children, but three have stayed with us. We have three adopted daughters. Age is She's currently 5, um, and she came to live with us when she was 4 weeks old. So we've had her since she's been a baby, but she's 5 years old now. We have a 12-year-old and a 17-year-old. And we have our 26-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old grandson. So our home is busy. We have lots of fun things going on, but the life is really, really crucial to what we did. And we thought that being able to bring children and into our homes, and we honor the mothers of these children every single day for saying yes to life. We think that the fact that they said yes, in itself, it was important, and we pray for them daily, and we thank them for their yes, because they weren't able to care for their children in the long run, but we were able to, and we thank them for that. We love our kids and we love them. But yeah, that's our journey. We recently stopped foster care because we want to focus on our adopted children. So we're really focusing on our 5 children technically at home with our grandchildren, and really supporting them with all their needs.
Well, that's so wonderful. God bless you both, because that's so wonderful what you guys are doing. What would you say to parents who are thinking about fostering children? What are, I guess, the hardest parts of it, but also the most rewarding?
One of the biggest, everybody that comes and asks me, what's it like and how do you do it? The biggest concern that people have is, how do you say goodbye? I would feel, this is like word for word, almost everybody says, I would be heartbroken when the children have to leave. How do you do it? And one of the things I say is that we, from the very beginning, from the very get-go, our goal is to help guide these children. We provide them with love. Every child that's been in our home has called us mom and dad. That's their choice. We've treated them like our children. We have given them everything they need. And with the idea that they may leave us, and it's going to be heartbreaking, and we offer up that sacrifice, we offer up that pain when these children leave, because we know that the goal is that they go back. Um, Statistically, many don't, but we know that that's the work we do. So I would tell these families that, regardless of the pain and regardless of the hurt and missing these children, the work is bigger than that. And the work that we do is to really help guide these children, have an influence in their lives and an impact, even if for a short period of time. Um, one of the things that these children lack is ability to attach, ability to show love, especially children that are neglected or abused. So if they come into a healthy home environment, they're going to learn attachment. They're going to learn what it feels like to love. They're going to learn what normalcy looks like. And hopefully that's something that sticks with them. And if they leave our home, they're going to take that with them, and that's going to be what they desire. They're going to learn those skills. So hopefully they've grown and learned and are able to move on, and rather than continue that cycle. So it's hard, but I would tell anybody that it's worth it. So worth it to support a child that needs a healthy home and needs a place to be that's safe.
Well, I hope your message reaches the ears of the families that need to hear it. I need to
I
hear
hope
this.
so too.
Hopefully, this is the beginning of them opening their hearts to foster care, just like you and your wife have. To switch gears a little bit, tell us about your Catholic art business. Who's the artist in your family? How did this come about?
Um, my wife and I both, we love being creative. We use our hands quite a bit. We kind of have our own skills, but my wife is an artist, and she loves making and just doing things. So one of our skills that we developed over time is to promote the Catholic saints. And we started a small business where we use images of saints. These are classic images, and we put them on tile, we put them on wood, and we also make quite a bit of items using the saints as our guide. And it's been pretty successful. We have quite a bit of people that like the work we do. We mainly, our work is on tile, and we put images of saints on tiles. We've been at the women's conference, the men's conference, so we really want to kind of promote the lives of the saints. And our goal, the mission of our business, is to get these beautiful images, these sacred images, into people's homes, have them on their walls, have these saints intercede for them, and really kind of do the work. We've seen and heard some miracles that occur where people have invoked these saints in their homes. So it's beautiful, you know. But at the same time, it's just a fun craft, and it's obviously a way that as a family we can make things and work together.
And what's the name of your business?
It's a Sanctus art.
The question that I ask all of our guests is, who inspires you as a leader and why?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. So, um, and this is an existing current leader, and I think he's also a TLI member or a board member. It's Mr. Tommy Espinosa. Um, and you know, one of the and I had the pleasure of him being my mentor during my TLI time. So even having someone like Mr. Espinosa as my mentor was amazing. Um, I looked up to him for many years just because he is, first of all, a leader. He's a servant leader in the community, and he's run many organizations. He was past president of CPLC at one point in the 70s, so he's got that kind of clout in the community. He's currently the CEO of Rasa Development. However, what I admire about him is, and what I would love to emulate is his the fact that he he is very outwardly Catholic, and the world knows that he's outwardly Catholic. Um, he doesn't run a nation. I guess it's a secular organization in a sense. You know, they do development, but he runs it as a Catholic, and to me that's really admirable and courageous. You know, because he works with peers in Washington D.C. and all over the country, and he's one of the largest community developers in the country, and he is not ashamed to put it out there of his faith and his devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe. So I've always admired that with him, and I got to spend some time getting to know him a little bit better during TLI, and yeah, I aspire to be someone like him, where I can be an executive leader and have that courage to outwardly show my faith.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. It was so great to get to know you more. Let's finish off with a TLI prayer written by John Paul II. Could you please lead us?
Sure, let me find it here.
Mhm.
Okay. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. O Mother, in the faith of our brothers and sisters in the laity, so that in every field of social, professional, cultural, and political life they may act in accordance with the truth and the law brought by your Son to mankind. Saint Juan Diego, pray for us.
Amen.